After disappointing Green Football Weekend and Planet League events in February 2024, what is in store as the Premier League publishes a statement on its environmental and sustainability commitments, which will have far-reaching implications for the Premier League and for football as a whole? Let's take a look. Welcome to EMSmastery, where we look at the successful strategies and tactics to master environmental management and sustainability. This video looks at the aftermath of the Green Football Weekend and Planet League and the recent publication of the Premier League statement on its environmental and sustainability commitments. Firstly, we must look at the Green Football Weekend, which took place across the weekend of the 2nd to the 5th of February 2024 and linked with Planet League, which was running from the 18th of January to the 7th of February. They were billed as the world's largest climate football campaign, with the hope to mobilise fans, clubs, leagues and partners to take action on climate change. Whilst there is much to feel positive about the initiatives from the many YouTube videos showcasing club and fan involvement, especially the level of support for fan commitments to change to environmentally friendly practices, such as reducing food waste, switching to renewable energy, and saving energy at home. It should not be underestimated the power of fans to make more sustainable changes in their lives, which is shown in the current Planet League table as of the 10th of February 2024, with Manchester United topping the league with over 4,000 green goals pledged by their fans. Although, with a touch of pride, I note the strong performance of Brentford at 5th place, but the notable absence of other Premier League clubs in this top 10 of the Planet League table. Less positive Green Football Weekend points are, however, exemplified by David Inman's experiences at Blackburn Rovers over the Green Football Weekend in his video here. There was an absence of positive support at grassroots level, with a similar experience that I found evident at my club, Brentford, with nothing visible on the initiative to me during our match against Manchester City on Monday the 5th of February, aside from some of the advertising for Planet League during the match itself. I get that the performance of football clubs is judged by their on-pitch performance and the health of their financial performance. But let's be real about the contributions that can be made to make football more environmentally sustainable, especially in the critical area of climate change. And while we're at it, let's not forget the huge influence that clubs can have over the engagement with their fans as a power for good. If you're getting value out of this episode, please click on the like button, and if you want to see more environmental and sustainability videos, please subscribe to this YouTube channel. In my earlier video here, I highlighted that the Premier League was signed up to the United Nations Sport for Climate Action Framework and, as a result, is tasked with reaching net zero by 2040. At the time, I mentioned that there was little forward planning on how the Premier League would meet this net zero target or its other requirements. Enter the Premier League statement of the 9th of February 2024, to an introduction of a drum roll. At the end of the statement, which largely dealt with new financial settlements with the EFL and other financial issues, things have moved on apace. The statement confirms that all clubs have agreed to a Premier League environmental sustainability commitment, which introduces a minimum standard of action on environmental issues across the clubs and across the league. The commitment outlines 4 operational measures which will build on existing action made by clubs to reduce their environmental impact and provide a foundation to underpin long-term environmental ambitions. The new Premier League environmental sustainability commitment will see each club firstly develop a robust environmental sustainability policy by the end of the 2024-25 season. Secondly, designate a senior employee to lead the club's environmental sustainability activities. Thirdly, to develop a greenhouse gas emissions data set covering Scope 1, 2 and interestingly Scope 3 by the end of the 2025-26 season and work towards a standardised football-wide approach to measuring emissions. And finally, support the development of a common framework for action via the Premier League Sustainability Working Group, also known as the PLSWG. I wonder who thinks up all of these acronyms. With the final comment that the measures have been developed following extensive consultation with clubs and the Premier League Sustainability Working Group, which was established last year to help shape and inform environmental practices across the league. What strikes me about this statement is how uninspiring it is for environmental and sustainability professionals and maybe the informed fans of Premier League clubs and the wider football community. So let's unpack some of the individual commitments. Take the first commitment to develop a robust environmental sustainability policy by the end of the 2024-25 season. So here, can it be that difficult to develop a policy? Will the clubs have the competencies, or can they get such competencies from external parties such as consultants or fan support to develop such a policy? And will it really take 18 months to develop the policy, and then any policy objectives and targets will be pushed even further into the future? And then finally, how will the policy's level of robustness be determined, and what will be done with respect to clubs with non-robust policies? Moving on to the second commitment to designate a senior employee to lead the club's environmental sustainability activities is a sound one. But don't clubs already have a lead on the environmental sustainability issue, or at least energy and carbon management? That's likely to be the largest environmental impact for many football clubs. Indeed, how difficult can it be to get someone into that role? Maybe an opportunity for budding chartered environmentalists to help shape the future of football so that the person has the right competencies to fully discharge their role. And finally, why not make it a board-level commitment to a C-suite executive to add weight to the importance of the club's environmental commitment to sustainability? The third commitment is an important one as it gives an indication of the main focus of the policy: to develop an environmental gas emissions dataset across all scopes and work towards a standardised football-wide approach to measuring emissions. Whilst carbon emissions are a pressing issue given the climate crisis and the urgent need to reduce such emissions. Will carbon emissions be the only focus, or will other environmental and sustainability issues such as waste or water use or biodiversity be important and embraced within the policy? Currently, my research for another video has shown that all current Premier League clubs have already reported under the streamlined energy and carbon reporting, either at a club or holding company level. So what is new, and why will it take until the end of 2025-26, which is over 2.5 years away, to achieve this commitment? Even when all the preparation of the carbon dataset and development of standardised football-wide approaches to the measurement of emissions, there is no commitment that will lead to meaningful carbon reductions. Watch my earlier video on the Green Football Weekend and the extent of carbon-intensive short-haul flights used by players and teams rather than the use of alternative low-carbon transport options such as coaches and trains. And then the final commitment is for the Premier League clubs to support the development of a common framework for action via the Premier League Sustainability Working Group. So, from my perspective, should this not be considered a given that the working group, which has already been established last year in 2023, and you would assume that it already has the support of all the Premier League clubs as a result? What can we expect to be the level of support that is needed or required by the working group to fully function in its role? And will it involve the designated senior employee from the first commitment, or even C-suite executives with the relevant environmental and sustainability competencies? I am sure that a common framework for action by clubs is desirable, but will this be a force for good to push the environmental and sustainability envelope, or will it constrain initiatives by the more environmentally sustainable clubs? And when will we see the meaningful output from the working group, as there is no indication of its targeted environmental sustainability remit or any timescale for the delivery of the common framework? After my analysis, you can see that there is much that is unknown about how the Premier League and its clubs will develop their growing environmental and sustainability consciousness, and concerns that I have over the lack of meaningful action in the short to medium term. However, I remain optimistic about the prospects of seeing consequential change in the Premier League and its engagement with environmental and sustainability issues, and how it may feed into the English Football League and other tiers of the football leagues in the UK. One thing is certain, is that I, as a committed fan and an environmental and sustainability professional, will be looking to see what green shoots can grow from the Premier League statement and how it can reduce the environmental impacts from its member clubs and lead to more sustainable practices, including carbon reductions and improvement upon the lacklustre engagement that was this year's Green Football Weekend and Planet League. Further information on the Premier League statement and all of the references used in this episode are given in the description box below, including a link to the resources on the EMSmastery.com website. Please subscribe to this YouTube channel to ensure that you don't miss out on other episodes on environmental management and sustainability. Until then, thank you for listening. If you enjoyed this video, you can watch other episodes by clicking on the boxes in the top and bottom right, and to subscribe to this channel, click on the link to the left. Thank you.